How we doing today, boys? You get fired lately? I got fired a long time ago. We'll get into that, but can we just enjoy this beautiful fucking weather today? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Mm, sipping tea. Sipping tea, enjoying the weather, and getting fired. You know, unemployment, losing your job. How does that feel? You like that? Does it feel good? You feel free, don't you? You got fired. You just gotta enjoy it, man. You just gotta ride the wave. Listen, if it helps you feel better, I would not fire you. I wouldn't, because I know you got potential. But that's not what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about a little tale that I went through a while ago in the past when I was still working the corporate slavery. Look at that, free as a bird. We're free as birds, aren't we? Look at that. That's how you should be feeling right there. You saw that bird? That's how it feels like to get fired. You're free now. You can fly. You can spread your wings. Go anywhere you want. Do whatever you want. So this one's just going to be like, honestly, I think this is more for the guys. So if you're a girl, sorry. This is something the boys are going to relate to. This is high testosterone shit right here. And if you read the title of the video, I'm not even. It is slightly exaggerated, but it depends on the perspective and interpretation of the situation that I was in. So, like many of you guys, I was in a corporate workplace environment, offices and cubicles and computers and managers and whatever. And this was a few years after college, a few years after I graduated. So I had some minimal experience, on my resume. And they were expecting me to be that person, who's going to pick up everything, help everybody out. Anyway, I was there for a few months, and about 2 months, and then one of the managers, I thought we were cool. Here's a lesson for you guys: no one is cool with you at your workplace. That's a lesson. Not HR, not your coworkers, not your manager. Nobody. You might have a good friend at work, but just don't take it too far. Don't go too deep, because you never know what could happen, right? But anyway, this manager I thought we were cool with, him and I get into a little bit of a scuffle, right? We're doing the work, we're doing Excel, fucking Excel, right? That's like 90% of the fucking careers out there in the corporate workforce at this point is just fucking Excel. But anyway, we're working on the Excel. I make a slight mistake, which shouldn't even be like that big of a deal or anything. He just comes over and tells me, "Hey, man, you should fix this and correct this. I shouldn't have to be telling you this." And I'm just like, that did slightly like get under my skin a little bit, just because it's like the way he said it. It's almost like kind of condescending, right? It's a little patronizing. Then that's what they do. This is it's called shit testing. As long as you're on probation, you're not fully like respected over there. They're trying to like poke at you and your buttons. They're trying to make you go crazy. They want you to say the hard R. They want you to, like, I don't know, take a piss on your boss, or like take a shit on his desk or something like that. They just want to, they're shit testing you. You know how like women shit test you? They're like, I don't know. Oh, hey, where would you take me for dinner? Oh, what if I was this? Would you like still love me? They're shit testing you. Although in the relationship, I think they're like shit testing you always, but in the workforce, they only shit test you for the first 3 months. But anyway, I need to sip this fucking tea, man. I need my caffeine. Sorry. We're working on the Excel. He comes over, says I fucked up, whatever. Cool. I ask him, I'm like, hey man, weren't we gonna review this like tomorrow anyway? So like, and it's like this is just a draft, and then we're not even like submitting it as the final thing. And he's like, yeah, man, but you still made a mistake. I'm like, okay, well, I know that, I'm aware, but isn't that what the reviewing period is for? And he's like, why are you getting defensive? I'm just like, what do you mean? There's a review period for the document that we're working on, where we see if there's any mistakes and we fix it. So why are you like getting so angry at this mistake in the first place? He's just like, you should know what you're doing. I'm like, okay, cool. So this is the shit test, right? Um, Now at this point there is a little bit of tension. Um, and it did get under my skin, just with the tone and the way he's delivering the message, and just the confusion of, uh, the way we're supposed to go on about this work. Uh, Holy shit, man! I'm glad I have my own fucking business now, because now it's like no one can tell me what the fuck to do, right? Fuck the system, right, guys? I'm so fucking glad I'm out, but I'm kind of pissed at this point. I don't even want to like acknowledge him or talk to him. He's just one of the managers. You might have been in a similar situation where you have like a bunch of managers to work with. I had like 3, 4. They fucking micromanage the fuck out of you in corporate. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you get, maybe majority of the times you get micromanaged. Like, it's fucking weird, dude. But anyway, um, I, I, I go back to work, right? After this whole shit, I go back to work, right? There's a water bottle I carry. It was a plastic bottle I think I had at the time, and it was on my desk. And I fucking grab it. I grab my own water bottle and I squeeze it. It makes a little noise because it's plastic. I grab it and I open it. I start drinking it because I need to cool off. The manager, he's looking at this. He's seeing all this, and he gets a little scared. He's like, "Why are you getting so aggressive?" I'm like, I'm just drinking water, man. I grab my bottle and I open it. I twist. These little movements, they really like watch you. They're really like you have to, I guess you have to grab it slowly, not make a noise, open it up and slip it like a little fucking beta male, right? Like a woman, like you're a woman, right? But because like it was just the tension of the argument, I'm just like, fuck this, man. I didn't say fuck this. I didn't even say anything. I just grabbed it. I yanked my bottle. I start drinking it. That scared him. That he got fucking scared of that. And he's like, hey, you want to talk about it? You want to go into another room? We could talk about it. I'm like, all right, sure, whatever. Let's go into another room. We go into the private room for this little meeting, and it gets worse. It gets fucking worse, dude. Because now it's just cussing. Now it's like straight up. Uh, he's going at it. He's like saying, "Hey, you're not really like doing your best work and performance." And I'm like, "What the fuck, man? Like, is this why you called me here? You know?" And he's like, "Yeah, man. Like, I don't understand what's going on and everything." I'm like, "Dude, I'm just like." At this point, I don't even respect this guy. I'll be honest, because of the things that we talked about at work. This guy's he has a slave mentality, and it's not because he's black. You know, I thought that sounds fucking weird, right? Because we were cool up until this point. We were cool. We were like sharing snacks. We were like having coffee breaks together. It was all cool. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like always like, dude, this guy's a slave mentality because he's always like talking about how he has to make his wife happy, and he's his wife is like the ruler of his home, and I'm like, and this guy like doesn't like he like has so much loyalty to the workforce and to his like and to the corporate and to the like just the corporation he serves, and I'm like, dude, this is like such a slave mentality to have, right? You're a slave to your woman, you're a slave to your job, right? I just couldn't respect him as a man, you know. And I called him out on it, by the way. I called him out, but he fucking the estrogen inside of him filled up, and he's like, "Stop calling me that! Stop calling me a slave!" I'm not joking, guys. He was literally having like, you ever see liberals melt down? Like that's what's one of those moments, right? They like start crying and breaking down. He wasn't crying, but it sounded like he was. He was like yelling, "Stop calling me that! Stop! It's not nice." I start laughing because I'm like, ain't no way there's like a grown ass guy. This guy's over 10 years. He's like over almost 10, 12 years older than me, fucking acting like this. Anyway, we're in that room and there's just back and forth, back and forth. It wasn't anything. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm gonna go back to work. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. Like you called me into here, and now once we're arguing, and now you want to end it. And like, dude, it's like I don't know what the fuck was going on in his mindset. It ended up going outside of the workplace. We went like in the parking lot, and we were still arguing back and forth over there, and it got to the point where we had to go to the higher ups to talk about this shit. It was honestly a very bad mess. I'll be honest, it was not good, but I could not like I couldn't believe that something like that was the reason he started like he got scared from me squeezing a water bottle. He got scared of me squeezing a water bottle. He started to like have a little meltdown because of the fact I called him a fucking slave to his work and to his wife, you know. And then, and then I'm suddenly the bad guy in all of this, right? This could have ended like if he just not if he just didn't acknowledge the fact that like I grabbed my bottle and I started drinking water. It could have ended there. It could have I could have been like, okay, you know what? Whatever. I made a mistake, whatever. You didn't want to go through it in the review period. That's whatever. Fine, whatever. Cool. Grab my bottle, I start drinking it. But he got scared of that, and that was aggressive. That was considered aggressive. Grabbing your water bottle. They were treating me like I had anger management. And I'm like, dude, this is how soft are you in the corporate work field, like workforce, workplace, I don't know what the fuck you guys want to call it, in the corporate world, that squeezing a bottle of water is enough to get you terminated. I couldn't really even like fathom when that happened, because you know, the next day I had to go to HR, because you know, he snitched on me. He told his boss. I go to HR. They're like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, yeah, is this you know? They're like, "All right, so we're not gonna tell you why we're gonna get rid of you, but we're getting rid of you." That's what they said. I swear. We're not gonna tell you. We're not gonna tell you that why we're getting rid of you, but just know we're gonna get rid of you, and we don't have to tell you that, and we're not gonna tell you that. We don't want to tell you that. In my mind, I'm like, I wonder why. I wonder why you guys want to get rid of me. It, could it have been the incident from yesterday? Could it have been like what happened, the events that transpired yesterday between me and the manager? I wonder. And there's, I guess, you know, they don't want to hear like any side of anything, because here's the thing. It was still a probationary period, so at the very least, I wasn't a good corporate work slave, right? I wasn't submitting to the boss. I was asking questions. I was debating. I was argumentative. I wasn't a good slave, and that's kind of what they're looking for in the workplace. You know, a good slave. And if I did have the opportunity to explain myself to HR, I guess they would realize how stupid they would really feel for trying to get rid of me. You know, I'm glad they got rid of me, but you know, just let's just hypothetically go through this. So Ali, what happened yesterday that set off everything? You know, that got, you know, created the whole argument. I grabbed my water bottle. Yeah. Whoa, what do you mean you grabbed your water bottle? What does that mean? You grabbed your water bottle? That's a war crime, you know, in some countries. Yeah, I was just trying to grab my water bottle. I squeezed it and I opened it up and I drank from it. Holy moly, that's a fucking yikes. You need to be in jail for that. You are not